Welcome everyone to the earlier edition of episode 7 of the SavePoint Report Point podcast. I'm joined by Eric, as always.
Whoop whoop.
No Marvin, he had a school thing, supposedly. I'm also joined by Fox, to my right.
Hello.
Loved the enthusiasm.
The new Marvin, some are saying.
Yeah, the new Marvin, seriously, yeah. I have to cycle somebody
After last
out.
time when he left
Stop pulling
early,
his weight.
I devoured him.
Does he really care about the mission? 'Cause I don't think he does.
Yeah.
He's just worried about like school.
God.
He's not gonna
We
get a
have
job
gaming
anyway.
news to talk about.
Yeah, the only thing that
We're all
matters.
gonna-
Amen.
We're only wiped off the mat because of Israel. So fucking,
Soon
Well,
That's some
diving
video
right
games.
into it.
the state of Israel. That's where we're starting this episode.
Bro, they're gonna take you. They're gonna take you.
English
Yeah,
transition. He probably will. Yeah, you're not kidding.
don't say any specific names. But continuing from last week's episode when we had to run because it was a little long. Magic the Gathering pre-release, because at the time of last episode I had played one pre-release. I came in first. It was only a 4-player one, and I went with the Lorehold kit. Very fun, very fun. But the night after I did Two-Headed Giant, and I had a Quandrix kit and was paired with Lorehold. That did not go as well. We won one game against like middle schoolers who I'm pretty sure were cheating, which was very funny.
Dang, they were cheating and they
and,
still didn't win.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Well, it was like the one guy would be like playing. He would just like point. He would like have a card and have it like upside down and be like, "I destroyed this," and I'm like, "You got to show me what that card is, bro. Like, what are these actions you're doing?" It was very very strange. And then he was like, he just had like dice and like random cards all over his thing and be like, "Yeah, this is the 2/2 I made." And I'm like, "Okay, what? You need to like
Picturing
track
you,
this
like,
better."
I'm picturing you lunging over the table at a middle school, screaming
You need to
loudly.
leave.
Judge!
That's how well, I had played with the other kid. The other kid I played at a different game store against before. So I don't know who the other one was, but the other guy like he kept like a one lander with and a free mulligan. We had one free mulligan just due to the format of being Two-Headed Giant. And I was like, okay, thank you. But yeah, that was fun. We went with two friends one who hadn't played Magic since high school, and the other who had played a single game beforehand, and they lost every single game.
Okay.
What?
Very fun. But they got to open some cool packs because the set is very fun.
Nice.
Be fun to do a draft or something of it. I think it'd be a very very fun draft set.
So
I haven't
still
bought
good
anything
limited.
From...
Yeah, limited was a lot of fun.
Oh.
It was because they had the 5 core like school archetypes. And I think that, like, I know, like, because we never did it last time, or the last Strixhaven. We didn't do the limited for that, but we opened a decent amount.
Mhm.
But from what I heard, like, some of the classes, like, the mechanics weren't as great together. Like, all the theming and stuff was great, but they didn't play as super well. And I think they fixed that a lot with the set.
Oh, cool.
Because everything seemed to run really well.
I've played a good bit against the old Silver Quill deck. Are they still sort of doing the whole like group hug / politicking kind of thing?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I guess I think the new commander deck is more of an aura deck, but it still is kind of a white black spell slinger.
I think I've seen a little bit of goat in there.
Yeah, stuff like that. Granted, not in the main set. I think
Pre-release,
it's more of a
probably.
commander. But
Yeah,
but
that'd
yeah,
be weird.
stuff like that.
Yeah, I haven't bought
Yeah, very
much,
fun.
I haven't bought much Strixhaven. I bought some of the old one a little bit when I was like in between playing Magic and just buying Magic, as is the way sometimes. But I've been wanting to pick this one up, but I guess the Walmart maybe gets like 6 Magic packs a shipment, and someone buys them before I get there.
Yeah,
It's always
Like
like
on the
3
Game
sets
Store?
behind.
Yeah,
for real.
The prices are super inflated.
Well,
If you
I
can
went
even
a couple
find
weeks
Magic.
ago, they had hella Spider-Man. I would say that.
Yeah, amen.
God.
Hey, if that ever goes on clearance, I'll be slurping that up. I still need a soul stone. So.
I might get a cool $2 a pack if it goes that low.
It's fun
That's
limited.
plenty
It's
from
fun
that.
limited.
Yeah, it was fun.
I believe it.
But yeah, that's about all I had to say. I don't think either of you guys went to the pre-release, so
Unfortunately,
set.
no.
cool stuff.
I
When
only
I consider
Notorious
consume
deck.
I only consume IP slop with my Magic these days. You know
Yeah.
what
True. Yeah, it does seem like that.
I'm
I dragged a
You're not
couple
a true
friends.
Magic head.
I dragged a couple friends locally into Commander recently, so I might start going to
nice.
more of those.
Mm.
But
Pre-release is like my favorite way to play. It's so
actually,
Mhm.
oh yeah, I've always loved sealed.
Mhm.
But I actually, one of my friends that I got into it, I remember when I started him, I was like, start with Arena, just play a little bit of Arena, get like the tutorial and stuff, because Standard's a lot easier to learn the game in than Commander, I feel.
Yeah. I'm teaching someone to play with Commander is like, I don't know why you'd ever do that to
but,
someone.
Yeah.
He DM'd me one day and he was like, "This is the worst experience I've ever had starting a new game in my entire life. I do not like this." And I was like, "Stick with it, brother." And then a few days later, he's like, "I got this cool combo." Like, yes.
Yeah. It is very obtuse at first, but I agree. I think Arena, unless you have a very patient friend, is probably the best way to learn
Yeah.
it.
I love actually Arena, they have those like Arena starter kit decks, and I'm a huge fan of those. The one that's like 2 decks, and then it comes with a code to redeem the decks in Arena, and you can actually send that code to a friend, and they can redeem it too to get the same decks in Arena.
Oh, that's cool.
Fucking
cool.
sick. And then I think I have it here.
You got a free code for someone out there?
No, I thought I had it. I have like a little Magic Game Nights box.
Yeah.
5
I think a friend of
standard
ours had
decks.
one of those.
They're all
Only
terrible
one shall
decks. They are like
stand. Sorry.
they are like useless, but they are. I was like, this could be a good way to teach someone the game.
Yeah, I like that they
Pretty
did
big.
like the draft night product now as well, right?
Yeah, I think
that's a
neat.
cool
Yeah, but
idea.
I think I like the idea of it, and I like that they have like a collector booster in there as like a prize. I guess is the idea. But I think if you look at the value breakdown, it's like not worth buying at all. Like it's better to just buy packs to do it with, like buying the bundle. I think like the professor had a breakdown on it, and it's like this is totally not worth buying financially.
I wonder if that's like still the case, like after prices settle and stuff.
True, yeah, it could be different now.
Because that would be cool. Like that's something kind of if I'm with a group of friends, we want to do a draft, and we're like, okay, I'm gonna go to the store. I'm kind of down for whatever kind of box they have, like whatever kind of draft night box they would have. Like I don't mind going to an older set or whatever. So I think if they can kind of level out the price for once the set's not brand new, I think that would be pretty useful.
Yeah.
The idea of just having like more spontaneity and being able to play draft and stuff does appeal to me. Because right now it is like you have to really plan out that you're going to be playing it with someone. I think we Eli, didn't we do a draft once with mystery boosters and then not play with them?
Yeah, and then we never actually played it. Yeah, we just drafted
We've done that like a couple times. We'll like build the decks and then we're like, okay, well, there's really no point in actually playing. Like, right, let's just play Commander or something.
Alex pulled the Mana Vault or Mana Crypt.
Yeah, the Mana Crypt. Yeah, which was like the hit from the first mystery booster. I think also that product, like, I've seen it at Walmart a lot. Which is kind of good, like, because it's a pretty expensive. It's like at least $100. So it's like I think it's good to like if there's no game store near us. It's like I don't really want to drive to this game store, but Walmart's right there. I'm just like spend like $5 extra to grab one.
That's sort of I've been wanting to get into Cube so that I could kind of do that more.
Yeah. I think
I've seen
Cube would be a lot of fun.
GameGenic, I really like their deck boxes. They have like little tiny booster pack sleeves you can get for Cube that simulate opening them. So I've been thinking about picking some of those up, but I don't know. I'd probably do like one of the D&D sets if I did. I really love Baldur's Gate and Forgotten Realms.
It'd be fun to have a on-hand like Commander Cube too, like that.
Yeah,
I'm sure you could just kind of pull from both of those sets.
Baldur's Gate especially was great for that. Surprise!
I never really bought any product for that, but I was so interested in that set.
I opened a few packs. Well, because it was like one of the first sets in recent memory that they like retailers just like got really scared with it and just started dumping it super fast.
Yeah,
right after that came out, you could pick a box up for like $70.
Yeah,
it was like crazy.
I worked at GameStop a little after those started coming out, and so they put them on like the clearance, and they had a huge sale on everything clearance, and I got my employee discount, so I bought a
That's crazy.
shitload of those.
Nice.
That's cool.
It was great, but yeah, I really like that set. That was also sort of when they started trying to dip their toes back into making partner a mechanic that didn't destroy everything.
Yeah,
But they did
because they
the,
gave choose a background, I think. Yeah, which
Yeah,
I
which is a
like. I
really
like having
cool
the
mechanic.
limited pool to choose from.
Yeah, choose a background is really interesting. Although I like that they've been doing so much of the like partner with and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Partner with or like character select. I think is the most recent
Yeah,
one.
like
from
the
the
Friends
Ninja Turtle
Forever
one.
one from Stranger Things.
Yeah, Friends Forever. Some of them I think it's strange that they chose like such a vague word. I think especially with the PlayStation Secret Layer drop, because like the hold on, I have the Last of Us ones here. Yeah, the partner for them is called Survivors, which I feel like is really vague.
Yeah.
And then
There's a lot of Fallout cards that could apply to.
yeah, I mean so many things that could apply to. And then for like what is it, Atreides and Kratos, it's like
Yeah.
I don't know. The
call him
keyword
boy.
for them
Call
was
him
just
boy.
like father and son, and I'm like, that's very like that's so generic.
That's really funny.
That's funny.
But well, probably about all there's to say. Eric, I'll let you take the wheel on news because I'm sure you probably know more about some of these than I do.
Sure. So our first one up here is that Battlefield. There's been a Battlefield movie announced. This is coming from Christopher McQuarrie, I believe. Let me get that pulled up.
I like that you can always tell when we're looking at our second monitors because we all just.
Yeah. Sorry, let me reset.
You know, quick correction from the movies podcast. We've completely forgot to mention the FNAF movies.
True.
And
Yes.
we completely
Yeah.
forgot to mention the Angry Birds movies.
Oh, that's right. I've never seen the Angry Birds movies.
Ian and Anthony Smosh are in the first one. And then I think only Anthony Smosh is in the second one.
Must have had a bad experience filming that. Are you aware you're showing our show notes?
Oh, I am not. Okay.
Little spoiler, you're going to have to go in and censor that.
Yeah. Okay. So this is from The Hollywood Reporter. Christopher McQuarrie, Michael B. Jordan to tackle adaptation of Battlefield video game. So this doesn't have like a studio attached yet, but for those that don't know, Christopher McQuarrie, he is the director of the most recent Mission Impossible movies. So quite the repertoire. He's done some other stuff too. And then Michael B. Jordan obviously just won an Oscar. He's been in a bunch of stuff, most notably Sinners from last year. So this is a bit of
that Space Jam. Most notably Space Jam.
Was he in Space Jam?
I thought so. I don't know. I've never seen it.
Are you talking about Michael Jordan? Or no, you're talking about LeBron James.
Well, no, the old one.
Michael Jordan was in the second one, right?
What? Hold on.
I forget. I don't know Space Jam very well.
Okay. Anyway.
I'll look up the Space Jam lore. Hold on.
I've never seen either Space Jam, so I don't know. But I'm pretty sure LeBron James is in that second one. Maybe Michael B. Jordan is.
Yes, he is in the first Space Jam movie. Yes.
Michael Jordan is in the first Space Jam. I don't think Michael B. Jordan was.
Are those different people?
Yes. What are you talking about? Michael Jordan, one of the most famous basketball players of all time, and Michael B. Jordan, one of the most famous actors of all time at this point.
I just kind of figured they were this one and the same. I didn't know that.
No, they're different people.
Michael B. Jordan is in Space Jam: A New Legacy.
He is.
Yes, I think there's like. Okay. I'm remembering it now. I think
that's who I was talking about.
Where, one of the Looney Tunes characters is like, "Great news, guys! I found Michael Jordan." He brings him in, and it's like, "Oh, that's Michael B. Jordan." So it's like the thing Eli just did, but in the movie.
Gotcha.
No, that's what I was talking about.
Being horribly racist.
Bro, they have the same name.
No, that's a tough one.
Yeah, it's tricky.
But yeah, this is a bit of an addendum to last week's discussion. If you didn't catch that podcast, we went over and ranked our hype for upcoming video game, movie, and TV show adaptations. And this one just came in today. we talked a good bit about Call of Duty last week, and how we think the idea of a Call of Duty movie is like there's just not a lot of potential there unless they took it in a very specific direction. You know, at least I was saying like Black Ops I think would kind of be the route, but I doubt they're gonna do that. And the creative team, Taylor Sheridan, who writes like the Landman stuff, and then the director who's done a bunch of like the war movies, just not high hopes for that movie. Not that I would have had anyway. I would say it's almost kind of the inverse here, where I think that Call of Duty can, like, it has certain potential for a movie adaptation depending on the story you pick. I don't see that as much with Battlefield. I think maybe if you adapt some of the older Bad Company games, those are a bit more renowned for their story. So I could see them taking that route. But I think what interests me more here is the creative team. Those last few Mission Impossible movies have been really good. I like Michael B. Jordan as an actor, so I think this is a pretty good pairing. It's just like Battlefield as a concept is like somehow even more generic than Call of Duty is, which is hard to get to. At least Call of Duty has like all these different eras. I mean, Battlefield kind of does too, but they have these more like fantastical elements, some more like espionage and stuff. Battlefield is very much just like war. So
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see where they go for it. And we don't have to rank this one on hype, but what do you guys think?
One, but isn't it's one like Battlefield 2048? Isn't that one more futuristic? Or is that the one that everyone hates?
I mean, it's like I think it's 2042, and it's like yeah, like maybe what at this point 15 years in the future. So it's like they have a little bit more high tech stuff, but it is not any sort of like. It's like pretty much.
That is a good point.
Just modern Battlefield with some gliders and stuff. It was a fun game.
And then interesting. Eli, you were thinking of Battlefield 2142, which is specifically like.
I don't think Eli was thinking of that.
Future game. No, that one is fully futuristic.
No, yeah, that's an older one though. That was like that came out, I want to say between Battlefield 2 and 3 or something like that. Maybe even before that.
I don't know specifically.
But yeah, like Fox is saying, that would be, I guess, more interesting. But even then, it's like, okay, then you're just doing a sci-fi war movie because put a gun to a modern Battlefield fan's head. I don't think they're going to name any of the story details from that game or any of the characters or any of the like I don't even know if it had really a story or anything.
Yeah, I didn't know that had one.
Company, like you said, did.
Yeah, those did.
More like smaller squads. Like
exactly. And so I think I assume that's what they're going to go for, and I'm definitely more hopeful for that. Again, it's not really something I'm interested in, but it seems like a better idea than the Call of Duty movie.
For me, I think it falls more in line with the Gears movie, funnily enough, which we were talking about. It's like a director who does a lot of action stuff, but it tends to be more following like a dude.
Yeah.
Through like, I mean, Mission Impossible obviously has crazy stunts and shit, but it's still smaller scale than a full war. Like we're not doing a Saving Private Ryan with the Battlefield movie, I can't assume. Yeah. But that's sort of the scale that I think you would have to look for a Battlefield movie to work as a Battlefield adaptation, rather than just being a thing that you slap the name on. Which I think this is going to end up being.
Yeah, it almost kind of has to be that, unless they are adapting Bad Company, I think. You don't go in and adapt the 64 v64 battles from 2042 or whatever. I just don't think that's going to be very interesting. But we'll see how they do it. I
was
do
there
wonder,
also a 2048? Was that the like more recent one? Because that does sound right.
Again,
too.
I think it was just 2042. But maybe it was 2048. But I think you might be thinking of Blade Runner. I don't know.
2042. It is $3 on Steam right now.
Yeah, it was a good game. I enjoyed it.
Bargain.
Not
so,
a sponsor.
We'll see. Okay.
Called the name wrong.
Moving on.
Oh, show notes.
Or I could pay double the price for EA Play for a month.
Hold on.
Ooh.
Let me.
Well, that comes with Game Pass, I believe.
I don't pay for Game Pass. But maybe I will soon. Oh, I was
true.
Transition.
It's not next on the list.
Oh,
that would be a good transition, though.
I know, we could have just gone back, but we're dedicated now.
It's falling apart. Everything's falling apart. Okay, next on the list, Mina the Hollower has gone gold.
Wow, finally after let's see, I believe I don't know if you remember this, Eric, but I think you were there watching, I think it was G4 and when they announced the Kickstarter for this. It was like the return of G4 or something, and they had the big announcement that Yacht Club was making, and I was like, well, I gotta watch that. And they dropped the Kickstarter. Uh I've backed it. I assume you've backed it as well, Fox. I don't
I
know
don't
that for
tend
sure
to
though.
support Kickstarter stuff.
Wow, okay, woke,
I like it
but
to be out.
whatever.
I was also
Uh
dead fucking broke when they announced it, so
Oh, yeah, understandable.
uh,
Well, see, I would have. One thing about their Kickstarter, I mean, I know this isn't really about the launch, but uh, the game itself was like, priced reasonably. But then, like, because they have like a plush of Mina, and I was like, ooh, I want that. But it's like you had to back it at like $200 or something crazy,
yeah,
and I
it
was like,
was. I
I'm not
remember it
doing
being hot.
that. It
I
was
definitely
for
I
for a
paid.
$7 plushie.
yeah, yeah. I think they might have dropped it on Fangamer now. So I don't know when peak launches, maybe I'll grab that. But
Yeah, I mean, just
there's been some demos of this. I purposefully haven't played them because I'd rather the whole
yeah,
game
same
just be
here.
out. Uh, and I've seen the trailers, but I'm very very excited, and I think it'll come out pretty soon. Maybe probably within the month since it's
I
gone
think
gold.
haven't they said something about spring?
They said yeah, they
Uh,
said spring, and I think they even earlier were saying that they like expected it to go gold like earlier than now, but they just had some problems with it.
this is currently my most anticipated game of the year. I am
Yeah,
so
no,
excited. I have
100%.
been so
Yeah.
excited for it. I've been keeping an eye on like every trailer they dropped. I've been like desperately trying to get that content up. It looks so good.
I
I'm an
I've
enormous Shovel Knight head, so
yeah, yeah.
um,
Yeah, same here. Oh, so I'm so so
I think
excited.
I've 100%ed Treasure Trove on like 4 platforms now. Um,
I haven't 100% it, but I've beat the campaigns multiple times. So that I
uh,
don't really do.
Is Treasure Trove
But
the ultimate edition, or was that one of the spin-offs?
yeah, so when you
yeah,
bought
Mm.
Shovel Knight like back in the day, you would get every version that came out like for free. You would just get it updated,
Oh,
you
that's
get all
cool.
the campaigns. So when the game came out and you bought it for like $15, I think it was at
Hmm.
launch, you
yeah,
would
something
get
like
all
that.
the extra content for free, and then it got a little more expensive after each expansion. Fair enough. I mean, it's a whole new game in there, and you
Yeah,
can buy the expansions on their own as well. So you can still buy them one at a time if you're not like sure. I think Shovel of Hope is usually like I think it's $10 flat, and then it goes on sale pretty often.
yeah,
Um,
that's right.
but it is like, yeah, you just get the full pack. So I got that through there, and then I've bought it in the Treasure Trove format several times.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I have it on Switch. I have it on 3DS. I might have it on Steam. I bought the
I've
spin-offs multiple times.
I've completed it 100% on 3DS, on Switch, on Steam, and on my PS Vita. And I
Uh,
own it on Xbox, but I haven't finished that one yet.
Mm.
just for the Battletoads.
Yeah, gotta get the Battletoads.
Hey
But
man,
I kind of want to do it on every platform it's been released for. I really love Shovel Knight.
yeah, I love and I mean this seems to be shaping. Granted, this is more of a um,
Mm-hmm.
Zelda title, but I'm sure it will be just as good
Yeah,
as Shovel Knight was.
like I feel like you just tell me we're making like Link's Awakening, but with smoother gameplay, and I'm there.
Mm. Well, I mean, I don't know. I would even say you just told me that Yacht Club's releasing a game,
Yeah,
and
pretty
I'm
much.
there.
Well, did you buy Cyber Shadow?
I did buy Cyber Shadow. I 100% Cyber
Oh,
Shadow. Of course
I
I
have not
did.
100% Cyber Shadow. I played a little bit of
Wow,
it.
interesting. That's strange.
Fox kind of just got mogged.
Yeah,
I'm too
you kind of got
busy.
Cyber Shadow
I'm
mobbed
too
there.
busy 100%ing Shovel Knight. Once I'm done with that on every platform, I will get Cyber Shadow and I will complete that.
So, question:
Uh,
Shovel Knight obviously had such an expansive suite, not only of like updates and DLCs to Shovel Knight itself, but then of spin-offs in the years and
mhm.
years that followed. What do you anticipate that's going to look like for Mina the Hollower? Do you think this is more of a one and done kind of thing, or do you think they'll take the same approach?
I think if this gets more content, it would probably be a whole sequel from the way that it looks
Yeah,
shown. Uh,
because what Fox didn't mention was that the other campaigns were stretch goals of the
yes.
original Kickstarter of Shovel Knight, so that's why they were coming out
Mm,
free.
okay.
And then also like they way overspent on the Plague of Shadows one, and they had to like, which seems to be a company, or excuse me, seems to be a trend with the
Yeah.
Yacht Club company. I don't know how good they are
They
with money. Uh,
yeah, the I think even other DLCs were meant to be like just character swaps. You weren't
Yes.
supposed to
Yeah.
be like a
Yeah.
whole new mechanics and everything. But then after Plague of Shadows, which was pretty much just the Shovel of Hope stages, but with new gameplay, they went and they made Spectre of Torment, which was a whole new game. And they went and they made
Yeah.
King of Cards, which was a whole new game with a whole new level system and an extra card game.
And a card game. Yeah.
And then they also just went and were doing Showdown, which I have not played much of.
We should play some because it is fun.
Good.
It's fun, but I haven't really played with other people. Which that is kind of like Smash Brothers. But yeah, I think they'll probably eventually. I know Shovel Knight's definitely like the most recognized. Is much more recognized than Vita the Hollower. So if this does really well, I'm sure they'll.
Yeah, it's already out. Like that, it's. Vita the Hollower hasn't been given its chance, you know.
I
mean, we have Shovel Knight DX and the 3D Shovel Knight coming.
Allegedly, if they don't
point.
go under.
Yeah, if they don't go out of business, I don't think that will happen. But and if they do, hopefully they get bought by like Nintendo or something, because then we know that they won't just get shut down instantly, and they have a good relationship with them anyway.
That'd be interesting.
I do really love what they're doing with Shovel Knight DX.
Yes, yeah.
This, Eric?
I'm sorry. What?
Have you seen Shovel Knight DX?
I want to say I have, but let's see.
They are
it's a deluxe Shovel Knight,
making like an ultra edition
okay.
with like all the content from the other versions, including the parallax backgrounds they made for the 3DS and the like
very nice
game mode they had, because they had an exclusive thing for Street Pass in the 3DS. Can't play anymore because nobody has Street Pass. Go to like a convention.
Biggest fumble of the Switch generation.
No, I know. You don't even get me started on why it doesn't have Street Pass.
But they're gonna let you play like every character. There's like a huge. I don't mean every character is in like the other characters that you can pick. Like every enemy in the game, you can play through the game as it looks. Yeah, it looks so wacky. They are truly making a definitive version of the game. Yeah, you can see they're adding rewind and stuff.
Rewind, interesting.
I think Shovel Knight already has one of the best like difficulty checkpoint systems in any video game.
I agree.
So I don't think that's necessary, but I'm glad they're adding it. But yeah, you can see you're playing as like even random NPCs you can play.
That's fun. I need to give it a shot. I've always wanted to play it. Maybe this will be when I finally do it. I remember playing through some of the Plague Knight campaign on the bus in middle school with Eli. That was a good time.
yeah.
As long as the fucking company stays in business, I would not be surprised if Vita the Hollower gets a lot of like extra little content. I could see them adding extra weapons. I could see them doing extra little dungeons, maybe. But I don't think they're going to do anything along the lines of like Plague of Shadows or something like that.
Okay.
I would say being a full sequel.
Gotcha.
They might want to keep expectations a little more in line on this one.
That's fair.
But Shovel Knight is just as a game, I think one of the most important like indie games in the history of them.
I agree.
First like major Kickstarter success I can remember that actually like was good, because right after this Mighty Number 9 was a thing, and then God knows how that
what do you mean? That was just as good.
The classic.
Yeah, I gotta love Mighty Number 9. Bloodstained turned out better.
Yeah, I heard.
That did eventually not available 2025. I'm glad we're playing that right now.
On my Steam Deck as we speak. But yeah, I could have about Shovel Knight all day, but we are on
a yeah, in an effort to get us out of here in a timely fashion, let's move on to the next story here, because I mean, I think a lot of these stories and a lot of these games we could yap about for a very long time, but
yeah.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. So this, I think they even said it in like a teaser trailer, the worst kept secret in games since the Oblivion remake, which granted wasn't really that long ago, but still, we've known about this for a long time. Ubisoft would not really comment on it until pretty recently, and yesterday they finally did like a full deep dive into what this is going to be. And it looks incredible. I love Black Flag. It's by far my favorite Assassin's Creed game. I loved it as a kid. It fulfilled so perfectly everything I wanted out of Assassin's Creed, which was like a an interesting historical open world with like fun stealth and combat for its time, and then like the pirate fantasy, which you would definitely get, but not on like at least when I had played it, not on like a AAA scale that I had seen. So this was very much like you're totally immersing yourself in this world, being a pirate, and this it's so Resynced is a from the ground up remake. It's like a modified version of the engine they've been using for years and years. And it looks incredible. They've reworked the way the combat works, which I think is sorely needed. They've the complete overhaul to the graphics and all that kind of stuff, but they're also introducing new story arcs, new characters to bring onto your ship. So there's just a whole bunch of stuff that they're doing here. I really think that this is people have always kind of said like, oh, like we need a sequel like specifically to Black Flag or whatever. I think with the way that Assassin's Creed games what the form they've taken in the past few years, I think they would kind of almost like bastardize an Assassin's Creed Black Flag or a sequel. Like I don't think that would end up being as good as really anywhere near as good as the original. I feel like this is the perfect solution to deal with that, because they're like I said, they're adding new content, they're reworking systems, they're making it look beautiful. For me personally, I haven't played this game since it came out pretty much, which I'm trying to remember. That must have been like 2013 or something. So yeah, I think
something
like
that range.
Yeah, like 13, 14 years ago. So this, it's perfect time for me. I don't really remember a lot about that game, like story-wise or anything. So I am so excited to, look at this with fresh eyes, explore it again. That naval combat, one of my favorite things in a video game ever, period, is when you're, in some intense battle, there's a storm or a tornado or something crazy going on out in the sea, and then, you're shooting, firing cannons back and forth, and then you pull up to the ship, and then you can dock with your crew, and then it just becomes like a Pirates of the Caribbean, like all out battle between these two ships. It's incredible, and they're bringing all that stuff back here, and yeah, I can't wait. Eli, I know you mentioned you have very slight history with the original Black Flag.
True. I think I started playing it and I was just so bored. Like I don't think there's any amount of money you could pay me to make me want to play a Ubisoft open world game. I just really hate them so much.
I think that's fair, yeah.
I think I started playing because like as I heard like the naval combat and stuff was super sick, which is one of the reasons initially I was kind of looking forward to what was there? Is it called Skull and Bones? Yeah. I was because it was just like. Yeah, I was hoping that would be good, and there's no way. I don't know if that even still exists at this point.
I think it is still getting updates.
Yeah.
Hey, interesting. Maybe we should give it a shot.
No,
I've heard only bad things.
Not gonna play.
I like all the pirate stuff, but it's just I don't know. It's just that open world formula that they have just is so unenticing to me. I just not want to play it so much.
The icons. Go to the icons.
Yeah,
I'm a tower.
It was when the original Black Flag came out, that was certainly a much like less trodden path for like these open and like structure for an open world game.
True.
And it wasn't as like, because like now they really are just like there's all these compounds around the map. You got to clear them all out. You got to unlock all the viewpoints. There's a million markers on the map, and this game I think is like basic, like right at that tipping point. This and maybe like Syndicate and stuff, where they were still very like action oriented, and they didn't have all that RPG bloat that the new ones have. But
yeah, I really hate Assassin's Creed gear slop.
Oh my god, it is awful. And they've confirmed that this is not going to have that. That this will just be like a classic, the action adventure style of the original. Like,
that spiked my interest quite a bit because this combat does look fun.
Yeah,
I may give this one another shot because it was like probably in high school. There was at some point they were giving it out for free on whatever the Ubisoft launcher is. I don't even know what that thing's called at this point. Uplay, yeah, that sounds correct.
How does that even still exist?
Maybe the worst launcher of all time.
Yeah, we had a debate about this not too long
True.
ago. On
Yeah,
the,
Marvin may
no,
disagree.
I saw that. I cannot believe he was. Look, BattleNet's not great. I'm not going to go to bat for BattleNet.
yeah.
Has he touched the Riot client? Has he touched Origin?
I mean, Riot client is a weird one because Riot client is like it. For me, right? My periods where I'm really into League, I start up the Riot client, I start up League, and then once I'm signed in, every time I go back to start up League, I bypass the Riot client, right? So I think that's kind of the same for like Valorant and stuff. So that's just to say you don't spend a lot of time like messing with it, you know?
I mean, I launched 2XKO once and didn't want to bite my finger off.
But yeah, this looks great. I think, I mean, who knows quality wise what this will be, but from what they've shown, I do think if you bounced off the original, this looks like it's kind of making up for some of those sins, especially, and they haven't gone too into detail, but the like modern day component to Black Flag, I could see that have also be, oh my gosh, I don't know what words are. That was probably also a factor in you stopping, I would assume. I think it happens pretty early on, and that stuff gets that is pretty boring. Maybe is it not when you start the game?
I don't
remember.
I remember showing up to like the main city, and you have to like stalk some guy like from the rooftops and get like a box from him.
As the pirate, as Kenway.
Yeah.
Okay.
As the pirate.
So maybe you do just start.
Play more than an hour.
Sure.
But
okay. That was another
only
thing.
Played it in one sitting.
That was another big complaint and like downside to Black Flag. Those tailing missions that are like present in a lot of those older games, but especially in Assassin's Creed. This just had so many of them, and they were not great. And so I think those type of missions are still going to be in this game, but they've kind of revamped them so that because in the original, you're tailing someone. If you fall out of range or if they see you, mission ends. You have to start the whole thing over. Awful. Like, why did we do this? In this one, if they see you or they fall out of range, they'll react to that, and then you have a few options for how you want to continue it. So like you can take out the person that you're tailing, and then they'll leave a note for you that like, okay, that's the information I needed. Now I can just move on. Which to me just kind of sounds like I can just kill the people off rip.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, and that means I don't have to tail them, I'm all for it. Like that's fine. I'll take that.
They have to throw some points or something at you for a few.
Yeah. No, and I maybe it's just my dumb kid brain, but I did sometimes find joy, or I found some joy in like you're tailing someone and they're taking this weird route that you can't follow because it's in like enemy territory. So then you have to still follow them while you're like, gliding on rooftops and going through different buildings and stuff. And that stuff could be fun, but it often just boiled down to you have to pick the exact specific walking speed to walk within their range and not get caught. And it's just kind of boring.
I think it's also just like taking away initiative from the player to that level, kind of.
Yeah, it's just not
right with people these days,
for sure.
I sort of am in a weird spot with this stuff, where I sort of am kind of soured on remakes as a whole a little bit. I think they're best. Like, I think part of it is that they're remaking the wrong games, in my opinion. Like Assassin's Creed getting a remaster, this looks pretty cool, but I feel like Assassin's Creed 4, a lot of people who like that game can still go back to it and have a great time with it. Whereas I think it would be better used on games that were trying something really weird and ambitious and couldn't pull it off at the time. Like there's a game called like Divine Cybermancy, and it's a fucking mess, but it has so many cool ideas in it. It's like I would love to see all these realized.
Yeah.
I was recently playing the Resident Evil 2 remake, which I really enjoy. I think it's a very fun game. But as a remake of 2, from what I've seen, it like kind of fails on that level. Like it succeeds heavily as a game. It's really, really fun. Yeah, like
they're two very different.
They're very different
things. So I'm like, what's the point of it being a remake? Then why didn't you just make a new game? Which is sort of mad because I'm also even just like remasters. I might just be insane, but I kind of love seeing old art direction in games. Like I don't see games these days and think they're ugly unless they're going for like hyper realism, and sometimes it ages poorly. But even then, there's like a charm to it for me these days. Like I look at the old like GTA San Andreas or something. I'm not like, man, I wish I could plays with nicer graphics. I'm like, it's cool to see how they worked around their limitations and did
For
things
sure.
using that to like try to create something cool. Like,
But
I don't know. It's just always been a
yeah.
thing for me.
I do
Like,
think, and I know the execution was poor, but for like with GTA in particular, I like the idea of maintaining or preserving that art style and those graphics, but just like upresing the textures, you know, because I do think that's kind of what is sometimes the biggest barrier, like graphically, is, you know, you're playing it on like a 4K screen or like an HD screen, and then everything just kind of looks muddy, you know, whereas it wouldn't on a CRT or whatever. And so I think upresing textures, increasing frame rate lets those things breathe, like New Vegas on PC. I have been of the opinion that like playing that game on my like 4K OLED TV, it is gorgeous. I love it, and it's like, you know, that art style is far from perfect, but it holds such a dear place in my heart. And playing it in that way, you know, it is really that like this is what I remember it looking like as a kid, you know, and so
it's especially cool because like, you know, if you see a lot of old pixel art games, because of the way CRT screens worked and looked, a lot of the time the art was designed in a way that it was anticipating things blending together a little bit. So how they look on the CRT is not how we see pixel art today. Which is why I think there's a lot of games where it's like you look at modern pixel art games, like if you compare old like Final Fantasy VI to like Hyper Light Drifter, Hyper Light Drifter looks a lot better just from a pixel art standpoint. But if you were playing on a CRT, Final Fantasy 16, like 6 would look completely different. That's why I love things like bring it back to the Shovel of Hope DX for the Shovel Knight one. Just having like every bit of content and then including like filters and stuff that would try to emulate that idea. I think that's a much cooler way of doing it. Halo, the Combat Evolved remake that was in the Master Chief Collection. The modern graphics look like shit, but you can hit one button and it switches back to the old ones.
I love that like real time switching.
That's cool. That's cool. I didn't know that.
It's super cool, and it really puts in a stark contrast how much worse the art direction is for the remake textures.
I totally agree with what you're saying. I think kind of on the industry side though, it does kind of make sense. Like I don't recognize or recall the game that you mentioned. What was it called that you would like as an example of a kind of game you would like to
Cyberman?
Yeah, like
it's
no, yeah, like no. I mean, never say never, but you know, a Ubisoft or whatever big corporation probably owns that IP. I doubt they see too much value in it, you know, enough to go through. So like that sucks, but for something like this, and like the Last of Us remakes, for example, you know, reports have come out that a lot of times studios will use that to like basically train the new generation of developers on like, you know, the engine and the tech and all that stuff, so that when it does come time to make a new game in that franchise, especially like for games that haven't seen a new entry in a while, you know, then like you've kind of got this new crop. The foundation is there, the gameplay's there, everything's there, and they just have to figure out like how to make it work, you know, how to make it look nice, how to do all this stuff. And so I think if it can serve that purpose, if it I think with PlayStation especially, it's been reported that if it can kind of save people's jobs in like the short term when they're between projects, you know, like I see that as a positive. And then, you know, we get a oftentimes decent product as a result, you know, so I agree. Like it's really probably not all these games that need it, but
it's a really great idea in concept that they don't fire everyone in between the release of the new thing.
Yeah.
I would say. I mean, look, I'm not saying like. I would still be first in line. I would still be first in line to go buy an Infamous 1 and 2 remake.
Oh,
don't get me wrong.
No, I would have been sleeping there overnight. Don't worry about it. I would have been in line for a week.
Best Buy floor.
Oh my god!
Trying to get me out of there.
The fact that that hasn't happened yet actually drives me up a wall, and the fact that they haven't even like
them on fucking PC, man. Oh my god!
How are you gonna shut down Bluepoint as a studio? They haven't even released anything before even like floating the idea of this franchise that I don't know if it's not Infamous isn't setting the world on fire, but there is definitely
1 and 2 are fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, they're incredible.
I
And
love
Second
the
Son
first
is
two of
awesome.
those
I love Second Son so much.
It's good.
I love all those games, and there needs to
Last
be
Light.
First Light actually.
First Light. It
Yeah,
wouldn't be alliterative.
we need a remake stat for those. Or a remaster, just a remaster would be totally fine. Because that's a great example, I think, of like a grungy kind of very of its time art direction that I think with just a simple remaster, you preserve all that, it would look great. You don't need to do anything crazy to those games.
I mean, side tangent off of that, we need to start bringing back the like kind of standalone horror DLC.
Oh, with Festival of Blood?
Yeah, Festival of Blood and the
I
other
never
big one
played that.
is, Red Dead Undead Nightmare. Is the other big
I want
one
to play that. I've never have.
Yeah.
If you can like find the 4 horses of the apocalypse, it's dope.
Yeah.
Festival used to be a vampire. It's cool as hell.
Yeah. No, we do. Okay.
I think also speaking to the like why are they remastering these games and not these games? With I think probably the most egregious example of a remaster is the Last of Us 2 remaster. It's that's insane, insane that they remastered that game like 4 years after it came out. But even could we not have those people and like I think obviously the training and whatnot, like I didn't know about that, but I think that's a good thing to do. But like, could we not have those people like on a Jack and Dexter remake or remaster?
100%.
Like put them on something.
But that's the thing though. It's like
different.
I don't think at this point Sony or probably the higher ups at Naughty Dog are like in the next 10 years we're gonna make a Jack and Daxter. I don't think that's where they're at. So it's like, but we know.
Same with Sly Cooper.
Yeah, but we know we're gonna make another hyper realistic, third person action game. So that's kind of what we want to train these people on. So if that really is the angle, like they're purely they're like, we need to get these people up to speed with the engine and how this pipeline works, then I think it makes sense for that. But of course, in an ideal world, we would be getting, if not Naughty Dog themselves, these other support studios to be making those games, like Jack and Daxter and Sly Cooper.
I think it's the ramblings of madmen and fools to think Sony would support their legacy content in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Not when they can release
another
third-person action adventure.
Over the shoulder.
Yeah. Look,
I'm surprised Astrobot exists.
Yeah,
no, really,
just in general.
That's it. They would actually look back.
Such a good game.
I would sell many of my internal organs for a new Spyro. That's neither here nor there.
No, and that's the thing. They have
not like Xbox. Everyone loves Xbox.
True, I love Xbox. Speaking of Xbox,
wow,
great transition.
Xbox news?
Yeah, when is there not Xbox news?
Yeah, that's honestly
there's always something going on. So the price of Game Pass has dropped. If you remember, I would say at this point, like 6 months ago or something, 7 months ago.
Yeah.
The price of Game Pass increased. So it says here, this is an article from Eddie McCooch at GameSpot.com. Man, I really hope I didn't say his name wrong.
Like, what did you say?
Effective immediately, Game Pass Ultimate is now $23 a month, down from $30 a month. So it was raised to $30 a month, however long ago. Well,
and it was raised to 30 from 17, I think, for Ultimate.
That sounds right.
Which was just an insane.
Oh, okay.
Ultimate was 17, I think.
Okay.
I think it was when they made that jump. It was a massive leap.
Yeah, it was almost double of the price.
Yeah, I think you're right. While PC Game Pass is now $14 a month, down from $16.50 a month. Existing members will see the new rates applied to their accounts starting April 22nd, but anyone who signs up today will get in for the lower prices. So, they've also announced that new Call of Duty, we discussed this a couple weeks ago on, it was probably like episode 4 or 5 of the podcast, when it was a rumor that Call of Duty would no longer be released day and date on Game Pass, and that is now the case. So it looks like they're going to be coming a year later. So, Black Ops 7 comes out in 2025. It'll be put on the service a year after in 2026. So, yeah, I mean, I think we kind of said our piece in that last segment, but It's kind of come to fruition, and with it, thankfully the prices have decreased a bit. But this is, Xbox is under new leadership. I think this is they're clearly trying to shake things up in a desperate attempt to save the brand. Which
They're
is
making good changes.
they are, but it's like a lot of them are kind of just going back on what was done by the previous leadership. So it's tough to like.
I mean, if every decision that they made was terrible, going back on it's a good idea.
It is a good idea, yeah, for sure.
I think one of my issues with Game Pass that makes it weird with the price increase is I do think Game Pass as a service probably is worth the $30 a month, like especially if you have Xbox and it's including gold. I just think it started at such an insane bargain price. It was such a good deal. But the price like that now feels like bullshit because like with everything that you're getting, probably fair. I mean, you get like the Fortnite passes, you get EA Play, like you get a ton of shit from Game Pass.
Yeah,
but it was like a mind-boggling deal when it launched. So then only being like an okay makes sense deal feels so much worse.
Yeah.
I do hope and I don't know if we talked about this on the pod, but I know we've talked about it, but I hope that they add some of their like I don't know, proprietary is not the right word, but like their franchises
Their legacy
have passes. Or no, I mean like Fallout First, things like Fallout First, the Elder Scrolls thing. I don't know, Hearthstone passes. That'd be a good one. Like stuff like that would be very nice.
Maybe.
Yeah, and so this was actually reported, not confirmed. Report claims a new pick your own Xbox Game Pass plan is in the works, allowing users to decide what content they want for their membership. And so I think this is kind of what you're saying, where it's like maybe not if you're part of Game Pass, you get Fallout First, and you get Fortnite Crew, and you get Sea of Thieves swashbuckling pass or whatever they're called, Elder Scrolls Online membership. It might not be that you get all of those things, but it could be, hey, if you're subscribed to Game Pass, you get to pick which additional service you want added on, or you want included as part of your service. And I think that's a great idea, because the chances that every single user is going to be utilizing all of these or multiple of these or one of these is not super high, but I'd say there's a pretty good chance that most users could find some value in one of them,
And even maybe giving like a discount or something. It's like, say, if you have Game Pass, get 50% off Fallout First or something. I mean, I'd be like, yeah, $5 a month, why not?
Yeah.
They did a lot of branding shakeup too, because I think like a while back they changed it to like Microsoft Games or something, which is terrible, and they changed it back to Xbox.
Yeah.
They got the new logo. I like the way the new logo looks. It's very evocative of the original Xbox, which I'm a fan of. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, sorry.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know they'd done that.
It sort of looks like one of those acrylic standees that you get a little backlight. Like
yeah.
Which I'm actually a huge fan of. I like that.
Yeah, that looks nice.
I think they said they were going to be
terrible.
Sorry.
Oh. You like that? Always bad.
I was just saying it's almost comparable to back in like the 2010s. Nintendo changed their logo to just be like straight gray for some reason, and then they were like, "That's so dumb. Why is our color gray?" So they changed it back to being red.
Yeah, like it was like
Wii
era, right?
Better.
They did that.
Yeah, during the Wii, it was just like a light gray.
They also, I think, said that they were going to be taking a step back from the AI push that they've been doing in the Xbox standpoint.
Really interesting.
I didn't
hear about that.
Incredible stuff we discussed last podcast with the AI world generation for video games.
Yeah, that looked very good.
Yeah. I haven't looked into these, but this article looks like it's discussing.
That's the other big thing. They're going to be pushing for daily active players, which I think could be a good thing. I think it's sort of leaning too much into the live service shit, which I'm not a fan of.
Here's the thing, right? Like the reason that someone would buy an Xbox in this day and age, there isn't one, basically, and that's shown in their hardware sales. And so some of the talk and some of the reports that have been coming out,
Famitsu for sales in Japan for Xbox.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah. I
was
mean,
a
it's got to
sub
be.
1,000.
Yeah.
It's like terrible.
No one will buy an Xbox because there's no reason to buy an Xbox. And so there's been reports or rumors or whatever that leadership, especially new leadership, is looking at, reevaluating how they approach exclusivity. Especially with, I think, like it probably started with the series consoles. They, went, hey, everything's going to be on PC day and date. And that pretty much killed the console, as a product, and the Xbox console. And so, do you guys think it is worth it to go back on that decision? I think it's at least worth considering if you are really going to make this hardware push, because the only other way is that you somehow make the hardware so affordable for the power that it's like, okay, this is a viable alternative to missing out on some games on a PlayStation or a Switch, or the freedom that a PC gives you. So I don't know.
There is like a thing with exclusivity where obviously I think what they did was much better for consumers, but the way that they did it did cripple their console sales, and that was inevitable. There was no way that it wouldn't. Exclusives are always sort of pushed consoles. People try to frame it as something else. People are like, it's so toxic that Nintendo are making us buy a Switch 2 to play these Switch 2 games.
Yeah. Don't even get a. It's like, what are you talking about, bro?
And I think a big part of that is like Sony supporting the PS4 even fucking now. But it's a thing where because they're doing that, going back on it would probably feel bad, but I don't think a lot of people would care that much in the long run. Xbox, like the thing about it is they could probably even just do exclusivity for like a month, and the people who really care about that shit would go to it. PC gamers will wait as long as it takes to play a game on PC. Like years to play a game on PC. They are more stubborn than anyone else when it comes to that. So trying to like worry about them on that front, like, and the games will still do well the second they go on PC. Red Dead 2 exploded when it was put on PC. Even people will buy it again on PC just to play it on PC.
But I think that's part of the reason those reports that PlayStation is no longer going to release their games on PC at all is, I think a big part of it is that patience that PC players have of like, oh, well, I've got a million games to play. Spider-Man just came out on PlayStation. I'll wait a couple years and I'll play it when it comes out on PC. But I think that decision making, it changes when they're like, okay, well, this isn't going to be on PC, so I have two options: don't play Spider-Man or buy a PS5 or whatever the PlayStation is. So it's not like a guaranteed, but I think if you
I think most PC gamers would still fall out. I'm just not buying one.
Yeah, probably, but it's just, I think during that push, their sales on PC weren't good enough to make up for the people who, would have bought a PlayStation. You know what I mean? If those weren't on PC.
A lot of the time with consoles, they're not making that much money off the console sale itself. Like they tend to sell maybe even at a loss when it comes to consoles.
Yeah, especially now.
From like the cut they take on top of digital purchases, which is why they're pushing so hard for digital. So I think like even then, because a PC gamer that buys a PlayStation, I think what they think is going to happen, they're like, oh, this is so convenient, it's so cool, I'm going to start buying some of my other games on PlayStation. I think most of the time they'll just be like, I got it for this one game, I finished it, I might go sell it, or I might just collect dust in my house.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the way it's always gone. I think the only thing is like if you can have a consistent enough output, like Nintendo does, then it's like, oh, now I can go buy other stuff for this. But as we all know, the PS5 has no games.
Yeah.
So it's a moot point.
The PlayStation, they've definitely won between them and Xbox this generation and last, but this generation especially because of how bad Xbox has floundered. It is not it's not really on the strength of their game lineup or their hardware. It is because
they weren't doing themselves any favors.
It was why would I ever buy an Xbox over a PS5? It wasn't, oh, this PS5 is so much better than the Xbox.
Yeah.
Because they're still supporting the damn PS4. I think
But I think that is a good thing, but I get what you're saying about how it kind of ties into this.
Again, I think it's a good thing from a consumer standpoint, but I think as a result, it has made this feel like the most nothing burger console generation of all time.
Yeah, and that's only going to get worse for sure.
Yeah.
As time goes
Mhm.
on, like the difference between these consoles is just going to get smaller and smaller in terms of power. So I
Maybe it's
anticipate by the time the
$100.
PS6 comes out, I wouldn't be surprised if we're still getting some games released on PS4. I mean, mainly, probably like indie games and stuff, like things that don't
Like
require a
Just
lot of.
Dance.
Well, but
Yeah.
but I would say even a step above Just Dance, maybe. So like, is Mina the Hollower? That's probably going to come to PS4, right?
Probably. I don't know off the top of my head, but
So like
Sure.
a game
I would say
like that,
because
I would assume when the PS6 is out, that would probably still be the case. If it doesn't require a ton of hardware, it's just like why not? At this point, you have
yeah,
everything
just throw
in
it
place
on.
to do it. So like those extra sales, they're not gonna want to avoid that.
I've actually been thinking a lot lately about how much of a flop this console generation has felt like to me.
Do
Because
you have
not
a
only
PlayStation 5?
I do not. I want one just to play Astrobot. So I am the one person that not really on the PC for. Like
Yeah,
I'm looking at things from a not myself standpoint when I'm
sure, sure.
discussing because I will fall for it. Uh, but the like I just feel like it has had no identity at all. Like um, the PS4 and the Xbox One generation had a little bit of that going into it, which, funnily
Yeah.
enough, how much stuff Xbox was right about in hindsight. Like they were just a few years too early. But everyone now, it's like the always online shit. We have smart homes in our houses. We
Yeah.
have a billion things. Our TVs listen to us anyway.
hmm
So,
But
but,
exactly,
but
it's like at this point, it's like our TVs listen to us anyway. So it's what's the big
yeah,
deal? But Xbox was pushing that as like a feature. So it was like,
yeah,
what are you guys doing?
but,
And I
but,
Mhm.
and I think
Mhm.
the what you're touching on with like the character and this and the spirit of like that generation of PS4 and Xbox, especially on the PlayStation side, was carried by their new games. So
yeah,
like God of War, Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima, all these great games. There were plenty more that came out, and then it's like on the PS5, we haven't gotten nearly the same amount of games, but we've gotten plenty of really great games. It's just a lot of
yeah.
them are sequels to those games that were so successful on the PS4. So it's like the
Mhm.
PS5 doesn't really have a lot to stand out other than Astrobot, Returnal,
Yeah.
things like that. But
I just feel like they were taking more swings before. Like they were trying to innovate in ways that weren't just power, which they
yeah,
realized in that generation wasn't worth doing from a financial standpoint, which I think is what made this one feel so hollow. Because when you looked at the PS4 launch games, they were
hmm
like, we're going to use this fucking touchpad. We got
yeah,
the crazy gyro going on. Xbox was like, you can watch Jeopardy on it, like all that cool shit. And I think even flops like that are more character than just how smooth this one's felt. Like I remember when
yeah,
the Xbox and the PS4 were coming out, and I was trying to decide which one I wanted to get. The question was, do I want Titanfall or Infamous Second Son? And I went for Titanfall,
two goats.
which I would not be vindicated on until years later when Titanfall 2 came out.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like I kind of regretted when I saw the cool shit the PS4 had, which didn't
yeah.
get used at all, so it didn't matter in hindsight. But the
hmm
PS5, I'm just like, there's nothing.
hmm
There's nothing in it that makes me interested on any
Well,
standpoint. And like, there's a couple games that are cool.
the I would kind of push back a little bit because I think with the PS4, the interesting stuff it was doing with the controller and like the touchpad, it was cool and it was novel and it did like add to like the immersion a little bit. But I think that what they did with the DualSense on the PS5 with the like adaptive triggers and stuff and turning that into like a real consistent like gameplay
Oh,
function in games like Returnal, I think that does. I mean, granted, that's one of the only things that they've done beyond just like increased power for the PS5. But I think that's
yeah.
done a lot to make me feel like get me excited about games that I know are using that tech, like Astrobot and Returnal, and now Sorrow's
It's
coming
sort of
up.
like the HD rumble that the Switch has.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
Mhm.
I'm not denying
Mhm.
from a like technical standpoint and from an actual like in process
hmm
using it standpoint, stuff like those haptic triggers are way cooler. And to me now, that's way cooler than whatever
Yeah,
the PS4 was offering. But gimmicks sell consoles to 13-year-olds.
for sure.
Uh, and at the time, that's what was more interesting to me. And that's the main market that you're pushing the consoles for. Adults will just buy them whatever, but like the
hmm
kids begging the parents is where the real sales are in that front.
Yeah, for sure.
But the PS5 looks like a vampire. It's got like a big, or you can have the vampire of the fridge.
The vampire of the fridge. Okay,
Uh,
sorry. What
sorry. I do
was
want
the
to
other thing?
just two quick things. I looked it up. Meat of the Hollower is only coming to PS5
Oh,
apparently.
interesting. Okay.
It's interesting. At least at the latest trailer that dropped, it only says PS5. It's coming to Switch, but I think that makes more sense financially. Like more people that have a Switch, I think, are going to buy
Sure.
Meat of the Hollower than PS4 people. Um, but beyond that, just as like a little different look at the daily active players. I think because I mean it's all pretty much all but confirmed, or maybe they straight up did that the newest Xbox is basically just going to be a PC.
Mhm.
And I think like one game we'll talk about later on the show, and I think we brought up earlier, Fallout 76 is one of their most played games. Like it is consistently on the top of Xbox charts and then also just Game Pass charts in general. So I think also like they probably want to kind of just reignite that ecosystem a little bit and kind of be like, here's our more live service games that they just want people in on. Granted, if that's because daily active players is not necessarily on Xbox, but
True.
having just something they can funnel money from everyone consistently, maybe they're
So you
more
think
live
just
service
getting
stuff
more
may
and
be
more
coming.
people into Game Pass at just a base level so that they end up getting into these live service games? Is that kind of what you're saying?
I think
Okay.
that could very easily be what they're looking for.
Last 2 words I want to say on Xbox. Quick resume's cool as shit. I do want to give them their flowers on.
For real.
Incredible feature. And the other thing, the branding was maybe the worst I've ever seen for
Like
this
their
series.
naming.
Yeah,
Yes.
I worked
They
at
need to fire
GameStop when
the
they came
names
out.
team, bro.
The amount of times people came in, they're like, I want the Xbox. I'm like, do you want the One X, the One S, the Series S, the Series X? Like, what's the difference? I'm like, brother, you're asking me.
Is the X the weaker one, or is the
No.
S the weaker one?
Yeah,
The
so
S
you don't
is,
even
right?
know.
Okay.
You don't even
Yeah,
know.
see, like,
It's
I
been
know
out
one
for
looks
like
like a fridge and
10
one's
years.
cheaper. That's
Yeah.
It's been out for like 8 years and you still don't know.
I shudder at the thought of what that new Xbox is going to be called. I'm so scared. I wake up in cold
just
sweats
call
every
it.
night.
It's just gonna be Xbox
Either
in all capital letters. Fucking call it.
Honestly, that'd probably
Xbox
be the
2.
best. Yeah. That would be hilarious. If they knew what they were doing, they would call it the Xbox 2.
The 720.
Yeah, that would be the real one.
Or just give it like don't give it a letter. Give it like
It's gonna
like
get one letter. It's called X.
yeah,
Xbox
X.
X the everything console.
Oh yeah, it ties in. Yeah, you can see live tweet feed of what you're playing on the side. You see all the like
Racial
horrid
slur, racial slur,
racist.
racial slur.
Yeah, it's nonstop.
Okay, we got a good bit to get through, and not a lot of time, so we may have to quickly get through these last segments. But the next thing I wanted to touch on was Clayface. Trailer recently dropped for this. Oh, I think I'm playing audio. Eli, you said you've watched the trailer, right? I've watched it a few times
Yes,
now.
I have seen the trailer.
What'd you think?
It may be well known. Clayface is definitely my favorite Batman villain.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I love. You didn't know that? I
No.
love
Oh, okay.
Clayface.
Okay.
I've loved Clayface like ever since well, I mean, because like I love Batman the animated series. I watched it a lot as a
Sure.
kid. Obviously they've talked about that episode was like big inspiration
Mhm.
for this. And then even maybe honestly my biggest hope for this movie is that they finally give us a Batman, like a Lego Batman Clayface from the original Lego Batman, because that figure is just so, I love that figure so much, and they've never made an official one. So I hope that they do something to tie in with this. But this looks very good. I like this a lot. If anything, I wish he was. I'm sure it will happen. Just I hope he looks more clayy. But I think a lot of
Yeah.
these that we see in the trailer are like very early. And like as you even see him like turn his hands into big maces, like
Yeah.
with a silhouette. So I think we'll see him be a giant clay monster at some point, which is what I hope for.
I think the third act of this movie is definitely like his final evolution, going on some sort of crazy, disgusting rampage.
Robert Pattinson shows up, beats the shit.
Bro, that is the I wish that would be my. I don't think I could ever be more happy on the entire planet if Robert Pattinson showed up. Oh my bro, I would be so
not
happy.
gonna happen, but it would be sick.
Please, please.
Eli, I don't know if I've ever heard you mention Clayface, but I know you're a big Plastic Man head, so it checks out.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
that makes
too also
sense.
like Plastic Man a
As
Big
lot.
Reed
featured, as
Richards fan
featured in
too, so I'm
Harley
seeing
Quinn
a.
particularly.
I mean, I would say less so, but I do like stretch. I like Miss Marvel more than Reed Richards, and she's more.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, there you
But I
go.
do like a lot of stretchy, shape-shifting people. I like them a
Brother, have
lot.
I got the series for you?
I'm not reading One Piece, bro. I'm not reading
Brother,
One Piece.
one day, one day.
Yeah, that's not me if that happened.
It's
$100 now
Clayface. He
because
took
of
over his
Logan
body.
Paul.
Yeah, he's taking over.
Yeah, I think this looks incredible. I don't know if you kind of felt the same way, but the him like bandaged up is reminds me a lot of mouthwashing.
Uh, oh, that yes, definitely. I was also gonna say he is reminiscent of Two-Face
Yeah,
in The Dark Knight.
for
I
sure.
think he looks a lot like that as well. But yes, he looks like Curly a lot as well.
hmm it's a very striking visual. I like it. It's cool. I like that they're and James Gunn like recently tweeted, and I kind of assumed this was the case that obviously he's made it clear they're trying to do all different sorts of genres, but that this isn't like a superhero horror movie fusion. This is just a straight up like body horror movie. Like that's what it is. It takes place in this universe. It's using this character. But it's not trying to adhere to any sort of like superhero trope, at least according to the trailer and everything we know so far. But I think visually it looks great. I think I've watched like some of Feet of Clay. I'm interested to see how that's like. It makes sense that it's a big inspiration rather than an adaptation because obviously a big part of that in the show is Batman. So it's like if you don't have Batman,
It's Batman. Yeah. Yeah.
But the general story will be there. So yeah, I'm excited. I love
Sure, it
horror
will.
movies,
Oh.
and I love DC, so I'm excited.
I'm sure it will focus more on his kind of the pre him like in that episode it's some like mobsters or something dump that clay medicine stuff all over him, and that's what turns him into Clayface. He's not like disfigured and goes looking for a cure, but I'm sure this will focus more on him pre that and then getting like disfigured and then getting that treatment and not really having the Batman showing up to stop him from. I think he's like, I don't know, he's like killing like actors or something. I can't remember exactly what he's doing in that episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this focus on that, have that focus, I think is plenty enough.
This was kind of the last piece I needed to see because it's been known for a while that Mike Flanagan wrote this, and like he is such a great horror writer. He's done so many good shows. So it was kind of my only question was like, okay, well, what is this going to look like? What's the tone they're going for? What are the visuals? And this trailer definitely sold me on that. So I'm on board for sure. I think honestly it's probably my most anticipated DCU movie this year. It's only this and Supergirl, and I'm excited for Supergirl, but
Supergirl seems less creative.
Exactly. I know what I'm
movie.
going. I know what I'm gonna get with
Yeah.
Supergirl.
Yeah.
I think.
Supergirl.
But yeah, Clayface seems more unique. I'm honestly kind of getting Joker vibes, which I know that movie hasn't lived the best life in the public eye in hindsight in the last few years. But I really enjoyed that movie, and I'm getting a similar thing. I know it would be crazy if Pattinson showed up. I really hope they don't try to do any sort of like Batman cameo, like post credit scene thing or something.
Yeah, I think either like don't I would say don't have it at all, or have him just be mentioned kind of in the background.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I think there should be mentions because obviously he's like in Gotham and whatnot.
The way
yeah
the way the Penguin show did it was great. Very light spoilers for that show, but the end they show you just see the bat signal like in the sky.
Oh, that's neat. Okay.
So just tiny little tease. They don't dwell on it. It's not like a whole thing. And that was just a nice way to kind of put a bow on it and remind you of who's going to come and kick his ass eventually. But yeah, very excited.
It seems that he's getting his clay powers through some sort of like injection. I know, like obviously, especially being like a horror movie, they're not going to have him like it's not going to be like more fantastical with like
Yeah.
clay, like the face molding clay.
Hmm.
Um, but I think that fits.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I haven't
I
watched it, but it's
How do I
sort of
expect it?
giving what I understand the substance to be.
Yeah, it
yeah,
seems
yeah, like
very
body
similar.
horror, like medication that's
Mhm,
kind of messing you up. To,
mhm.
probably a different like emotional like
Yeah.
it's probably a metaphor for something different, I guess, but
Mhm.
yeah,
That
we'll
shot
see.
that we just saw is cool as shit of him like putting his hand over his
It's
face.
really cool. If you
Yeah,
rotate
yeah,
it, it
it's
looks
very
like he's
cool.
doing the Mog face, so that's going to be on the thumbnail for sure. I've already made it.
Oh, that's
Um,
funny.
but yeah, moving
Pop
on.
don't know where it's scripted.
No.
So, in some unfortunate news, depending on how you look at it, Gen V has been canceled. So we will not be getting a season 3. For those that don't know, this is the spin-off of The Boys. It's gone through 2 seasons. The last season came out last year, and I don't know how to feel. The first season I really enjoyed. I thought
Yeah, I
it
agree.
was like a at a time when The Boys was getting a little bit fatiguing, or it was like it had found its footing. It found what it was doing well, and it was kind of sticking to that. Gen V felt like a really nice breath of fresh air in this universe, kind of going
Yeah,
back to
yeah.
basics, but with like this really fun tone and like setting of them being on college and how their powers and stuff influence their relationships and interactions on campus. And I think season 2 went too far into trying to be like The Boys, and
Yes, yeah. They very barely were doing collegey stuff, I
exactly, and
felt.
it just felt really weird in that aspect, which took a lot out of it.
And I know we've talked about because I don't know if we how much we talked about this with the show, but
I don't think we did.
the ending was a little lackluster. I feel like
Hmm.
the build up was really good with building up like the doctor and then him
Yeah,
coming
he was
back,
a great
but then it
villain.
felt
Yeah,
like they
or
yeah,
well,
well he was a great
he was a
but
great
then he showed and
villain.
then kind of
Yeah, with the reveals
they
and
just
stuff.
destroyed him instantly.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like I kind of wish that had have happened.
Hmm.
Um, Overall good, but
Yeah,
I assume they'll continue the story somewhere because like they were building uh towards these characters like being important to the plot of
yeah.
the
I
boys, but
assume they'll
it
be
really
in this
seems
new
like
season of
they're
The Boys at some point. I think it's kind of been
yeah yeah
confirmed. I don't think they're gonna be a huge part of it, but I don't know. I don't
yeah.
know.
Even because the two of the like villains in the first season showed up uh in the fourth at the end of the fourth season, but
Yeah,
seemingly they're not.
yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't know what they're gonna do with that.
Well, they do that, and then in the second season of Gen V, they kind of like retcon it
They just walk it
almost.
back.
Like
Yeah,
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 it's almost they play it as if they didn't really want that to happen in the first place. Like,
yeah,
um,
yeah.
they go back on that pretty quickly. And obviously, the first season, one of the main characters, unfortunately, did the actor for him did
Mhm.
pass away. So I think that did affect kind of the direction
Yeah.
they took with the second one. So who knows how that affected it? But yeah, it's sad to see. I guess I kind of wish. I think 2 seasons was enough for this show. In with the
Mhm.
quality of season 2, I guess I just wish, like you were saying, that season 2 kind of wrapped everyone up better. I'm
Yeah,
sad that
yeah.
we're probably not going to see like a proper ending because the characters are. I really like a lot of the characters in the show.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, I agree.
so whatever, it's unfortunate, but The Boys is coming to an end. We still got that the Vought Rising show. That's another spinoff they're doing.
Yeah.
But that takes place in
Which
the
How,
I
past.
how is that third season of The Boys? I haven't watched any of it.
Well,
it's up to the
we're
fifth
we're on the
season.
5th one, yeah.
Uh,
Oh, I haven't watched any of The Boys, so I don't know where we are. How's the new one?
I
well,
think,
I think we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But I've liked it so far.
yeah,
The latest episode was definitely just set up for that.
yeah.
prequel
I mean, we might as
show,
well just
for
get into
sure,
it now.
though.
We're about to.
Oh yeah,
get
we can get
the
into it
show,
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the latest
Yeah,
episode
yeah.
though. I've only watched 3 of them.
Oh, you haven't?
Mm-mm.
I love people are hating on it because it doesn't super move the plot
Mm.
forward a lot. But I think that like as standalone, it still was not bad.
Okay.
It just was like it definitely is set up for the prequel show though.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
low-key, I feel like people's attitudes toward like more episodic episodes of shows has become so toxic these days. It's like
Yeah.
people are in such a like people aren't watching shows to watch them anymore. They're watching them to finish them. It feels like a lot of the time.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
people are like, "Oh, it didn't move the plot forward. Here's the episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender you can skip." I'm like, none of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Though I do think there is some like validity to that complaint when you have such shorter shows, like because it's like most
Yeah,
shows now are like 8 episodes.
Yeah.
So I think it is there. If it is a complete like almost with which I don't know if we'll be moving into this, but with Invincible, the fourth episode of that show was like completely a bottle episode almost.
Mhm.
There's like nothing in that episode
Oh, of the
contains to
new
the rest of
season,
the
of the
or
new season.
pertains of the new season. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, of the new season
Yeah.
of Invincible. Nothing in that, which I liked that episode. I still thought it was like fine, but it's like I can understand going like why why
we
did we
only
have
get
this random
6
episode
of
where
these
Mark goes
every
to
2
hell?
years, bro.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think we kind of can just hop into talking about Invincible as well. I do think that was I agree. I think that episode was fine.
Mhm.
For what it was. I think as a whole, the first half of the season was all right. On average,
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
it was kind of
It was all yeah, yeah.
typical like highs and lows. Invincible. There's some good
Mhm.
stuff, but the second half of this season
Yeah,
was
the second half is quite good.
absolutely insane. It was
Yeah.
incredible. And we talked about this last week, or maybe the week before. I don't remember. I think there are just certain characters and storylines in Invincible that tend to not be as interesting as the main plot, and so that's why I kind of enjoy more of those like main plot episodes. Definitely not to say all of the side stuff is, but I think the first half suffered from that, but the second half was very much just boom, 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 like main plot, main characters, moving everything forward. And when Invincible is doing that, when they are in their bag, when they're in the kitchen and they're cooking, they are cooking. It is crazy. You can tell they saved their budget for these last few episodes. Yeah,
For most of the season, you can tell they were saving the budget.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What did you think of the
Yeah,
season as well?
so like I've read everything. I've read it. I read it before the show. Um, I really like what they've done with like the war stuff. I think also like, and this is for the first half of the season where it's like a lot of the stuff that they're setting up and introducing, like it works better in a comic format to have stuff like that happen. I think where it's like here's an issue, like issue or like kind of just throw in this and then later on it's built on like because like even in this trailer like there are characters in there that they show up in like one episode, maybe even not that much of the episode, like that one
Yeah.
person that's like taking the electricity,
Yeah.
but they do play a role later.
Mm.
And I think it's a little harder to I don't know. I can see when it's the show format, it's harder to like kind of
Yeah, what you were
storytelling's
saying about
different. It's different. It's a
Yeah.
different
It is.
medium.
It is. And I think
what you were
Go
saying
ahead.
about how short seasons are.
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The shorter seasons back in the day when we were getting like because Invincible, I think it is kind of it does evoke those like Saturday morning cartoons of like our age, especially like those like superhero shows from back in the day that each season you were getting like 30 episodes, and so it was like there was time for those like smaller stories and stuff, and in turn it meant that like if you had a smaller story you could spend an entire episode on it and it wasn't fatiguing, but in Invincible it's like you end up getting these episodes that are an hour long, but then it's like you're kind of jumping around between plots that don't really tie into each other and don't have any sort of like even like emotional cohesion. Like they're just kind of these like disparate stories that are going on because again the episodes are an hour long and you need to fit them in somewhere, but they can't they aren't enough for a full episode. So I think it is a bit of a victim to its structure and it's the time and place that we live in, but
I would maybe even.
Like,
oh, true. Yeah. I agree.
I truly
Yeah,
hate how like they're doing the seasons of shows now.
Yeah.
Even stuff that's like I don't think is very good, like Has Been Hotel. I think it's like a terrible show. But if you look at it, I think it would have been better if they had been able to actually fulfill its premise and done like a bunch of wacky episodic episodes about helping random sinners in hell. Like that would have been a better show than what we got. Like because everything's just trying to be like that 6-episode. Oh my god, everyone on Twitter's talking about the finale of it because everyone binged it in a day because that's what Amazon and Netflix are pushing. It's ruined release schedules for shows like JoJo's. Like, oh my god, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Like when Part 5 was airing, every single week, every week without fail, JoJo Fridays was trending. They released Stone Ocean. They're like, here's 5 episodes, and then a year later, here's 12 episodes. And then after that, here's the last 6. And it's like, okay, nobody cares about this. And no one's talking about it.
Well, that's what happened with Invincible season 2, kind of. Like they had this super weird like break in the middle of the season for months, and the amount of people I've met in real life that have like I've talked to them about Invincible, and they're like, yeah, I was watching it, but then like they took a break in season 2, and I just kind of fell off and stopped wating. Like I seriously, like I've met a bunch of people who have shared like had that sentiment, and I kind of get it. It's like the none of the arcs had concluded at that point, and then you're just you're not releasing anything else. So it's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna move on to something else. And then there's not like, oh, new season's out, let me go back to it. It's just, oh yeah, some new episodes were posted. So it's just this weird. It was just a really weird
that was strange,
strategy that they had. I don't know why they did that.
I am a very strong proponent of weekly release schedules. I think they work much better both for the show's marketability and structurally. I think it makes things more interesting. I'm going to not go on a huge rant about this, but I'm a big fan of Kamen Rider, which is a Japanese show, and I can talk about that for hours. But I'm specifically its release schedule. They release year-round, nonstop. Like every week, there's an episode. Maybe like 1 or 2 weeks of the year they don't, and then as soon as one season ends, they move on to the next one. It's not related to the previous one, anything except for its tropes and maybe a cameo. But because they do it in that way, it becomes part of your routine. Like I've been watching the current season with my brother and my roommate, and it's the first one that I've watched weekly like this because they're releasing it on YouTube simultaneously for free, which is fucking awesome. And it's been super cool to go and like watch it every week. It becomes part of the routine. And it's also really fun because they have live chat on for it. So you get a very fun fan reaction community event for that. And I think leaning into that more and, having shows that can become part of your routine like that weekly is what makes shows have more sticking power than if you do like, here's 6 episodes shot out in one day. Yeah. And then maybe in 3 years you'll get another. And there's absolutely no room for anything but the most pared down plot as quick as possible.
Yeah, and I do think on the whole we are shifting back to weekly releases generally with a lot of shows these days, which I like. We'll see.
I like the sometimes they do this too, where it's like maybe instead of having one episode at first, they have like 2 or 3, especially for like a new franchise, because then they can kind of hook you on it. And I'm like, okay, it's like I'll watch 3 episodes of the show. And it's like, I might as well keep watching it, even if I'm not like super crazy on it.
In for a penny,
but just as just as a little for the Invincible about the episode lengths, I think honestly Invincible could benefit, and I don't know if this is even like something realistic. It would be neat if the episode lengths could be like, let's just say they had something short they wanted to do, like for like 20 minutes, like boom, here, tell this one short thing, so that it doesn't really feel like they're like stretching something out to fit. So like having like 7 different things,
like variable lengths, like there's not like one set in stone. Gotcha.
Yeah, they can even drop those like in chunks with like longer episodes.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I have to wait another week to get back to the story.
I think that would help. I really do. I think that's a good idea. I think there are arcs in this season that would have benefited from that.
Yes. Because I would say like there are things that happen in those first few episodes that I barely even remember, because it's like Dinosaurus, like where there he is right now. Dinosaurus shows up for like 15 seconds. Dinosaurus the goat. They're that person. They show up. They just kind of show up, and they're just like, here's this guy that showed up. And they did not mention it again.
Are the episodes variable lengths, or is it just solidly like an hour every single?
It's like around variable. 50 minutes.
See, that's one thing that I think has been bad as well, because when shows were set to be like 22 minutes or 44 minutes to fit the ad blocks. I think the best example you could see, it's like it forced the shows to be tighter and like more consistent. And I think you can see that, like the best example of that I've seen is Arrested Development, because you watch the early seasons of that show, it is one of the tightest written like best. Every single like second of that show is a banger joke.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to Netflix when it was releasing on there, and they let them make the episode lengths whatever the fuck they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
There was still like good stuff in there, but it was a lot like there was a lot more flab,
Interesting.
But
Yeah.
I hate the way we're doing TV now.
Yeah.
Just in general.
So I think we can touch on From, but then we may have to call it.
This will be quick. This will be quick. From pretty good. It's like Lost. It's kind of like a mystery show, but this was more of a horror show. It's basically as you're seeing in this trailer, people will just be driving and then there'll be a tree in the road and then they're like, "Oh, we better turn around because we can't get through." And then they just drive through this like strange town and then they just can never leave. They're like monsters that like kill you at night and stuff. It's a pretty good show. I think it like sometimes it like struggles from like it's a very much of a mystery box show, but there's not a lot of like, especially in the earlier seasons. But there's not a lot of like reveal. It will kind of be like reveal. It'll be like, oh, this mystery, we like almost found out what was going on, but then like we didn't. But like it still is entertaining and good, but just like compared to something like Lost, where like I feel like Lost would present a mystery. You kind of like the characters would get closer and closer to solving it, and then that mystery would open new doors, but it would kind of solve what they were like looking for. But with this one, there hasn't really been like it's been like there's a lot of we got to figure out this thing, and then like maybe they'll figure it out, but like generally it doesn't super move what like the main thing is. So there's a lot of people being like, we got to figure out what's happening, and then they're just still working towards figuring it out. Granted, these last two seasons,
I was just gonna say, I've heard it's like fucking bananas.
Yeah,
it is crazy. Yeah, it is a crazy show. It's quite good. I like it. Quite a bit. I mean, I've been watching it since the first season, so it's took me for 4, and they were confirmed that they are going to get a 5th season, so they're going to be able to finish it, which is very good. Because I think that was kind of a little bit of worry, is like sometimes it took them a while to get renewed and stuff. But yeah, it's quite good. If you want a mystery show, I'd watch it. Just the later seasons, they have started actually like, okay, here's kind of like what's going on, but it takes like I'd say like almost till the 3rd season for when they're like, okay, some of these, but there's still a lot of hanging plot threads. But I'm sure we'll be wrapping up like everything together because it is written by some of the same people that did Lost, which I think is quite good. Again, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
Is it worth getting MGM Plus?
I love Lost, so good.
Is it worth
this
MGM
show,
Plus subscription?
I don't know how much that is. I think my dad pays for it, so possibly. It's like through Prime or something. But for the latest episode, there's a lot of, I think this does happen in the show a lot, where it's like, well, if this person would just tell this person what's happening, it kind of would make this not as like big of a deal. And there's a lot of like, I don't want to talk about that. And it's like, bro, just tell them. Like, why don't you just tell them? Like that would it is like, why are you doing this? But it is good horror show. It's got some gore in it. Not
good characters,
crazy, though, but yeah, good characters. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Should I watch this or Lost?
I mean, Lost is better. Lost is definitely better, but this, if you were like wanting to, you could get caught up. I don't think the seasons are that long. You get caught up pretty quick. We could talk about the 4th season. I think that'd be fun. Because there's a lot of speculation you can do. There's a lot of just crazy, as Fox was saying, there's a lot of crazy stuff. And it's like, what is this building towards? So that's about all I had to say.
Cool. Well, I think unfortunately we'll have to push our games discussion to next week. We were going to talk about our recent experiences in Fallout 76. Hopefully we can get some more in before we talk about it. Maybe have a
I'll have more to say by then anyhow.
Yeah. But yeah, that is going to do it for this week's episode of the SavePoint Report. Eli, you want to close us out?
Pointcast. Yeah, I think we had a pretty good show this week. A lot of news. It's a shame we're on a time crunch, but
yeah,
look forward to Fallout 76, which me and Eric both haven't played for a bit. Eric probably hasn't played more than me, but Fox is effectively new. I think you've only played like twice.
A little bit.
But yeah.
Like,
plenty
subscribe, share,
new stuff.
Leave a comment.
Yeah,
down below.
anything.
Please show your support. But
Let the
especially if
people
you
know.
made it
People
this
wanna
far,
know.
we appreciate you.
Sure.
And we're trying to stick closer to, you know, weekly releases when possible. So even if it results in shorter episodes like this, I'd rather get something out than nothing. So
Yeah,
it was
I agree.
good talking to y'all, and we will see you next time.
Of course. Goodbye.